All right, welcome everybody to the comic panel. I'm Cody.
I'm Talon.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawenta.
And today we are covering Groot, Volume 1. It is written by Jeff Loveness, art by Brian Kessinger, colors by Brian Kessinger with fill-ins on issue 3 and 5 from Vero Gondini, and lettered by Jeff Eckleberry. And this is, I think this came out in I want to say 2016?
It feels very 2016.
Yeah, 2016, I was correct.
Mm-hmm.
And also, that's right, I was going to say that this is the final book of our, botany comics?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, this is, so far, just to give a little bit of a background where we've been. We've read Man-Thing, Swamp Thing, Poison Ivy, and now today Groot, the famous member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, made famous by the 2014 movie.
Yeah. I will say, Jake, I am so shocked that, not that you picked the book, but that you were able to find a book that fit the theme. Because for me, I was trying to figure out Poison Ivy. I was like, I don't want to choose Poison Ivy. And I just couldn't figure out anybody else.
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking about picking Poison Ivy, but then you picked before me. So
And you picked the only comic that she's solo starred in, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was just her first that we read. She actually got an ongoing series in 2022 that's still running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. Man, was that also written in 2016?
Yeah.
2016 was a big year for comics.
It was. It really was.
Yeah.
It was kind of a big year for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Some of us were turning 17.
Sure.
A little baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, I will also amplify Talon's point. I was like, wow, it seems so obvious now to pick Groot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't think of it at all. I was like, man, who am I going to pick?
I'll be honest, I had to Google plant characters before I figured out that it was Groot.
Yeah.
Did you get that Comic Vine article that was just a whole bunch of random
I'm
plants?
sure I scrolled through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so this is Groot Volume 1. I think that this is where this ends, but they kind of get the same creative team or maybe the same writer to do, Groot and Rocket Raccoon or Rocket Raccoon and Groot, something like that. So yeah. But for those that don't know who Groot is, have not seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, he is a giant tree person who can only say the words, I am Groot.
No, he is an alien, not
a
human turned plant.
That's, I guess, a good clarification. That's a good...
Yeah, he's a humanoid alien.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. I guess I meant plant person in the kind of just, very figurative sense. He
has tree powers.
He has tree powers, yeah.
But he walks like a human.
Mm-hmm.
Humanoid.
Yes. And basically their adventure starts out with so Groot and Rocket, which Rocket is a small raccoon-looking creature.
But don't tell him that.
Yeah. Who's quick to anger and very good with guns and other weaponry.
Most famously portrayed by Bradley Cooper.
Yes. And so basically they've taken a leave of absence from the Guardians of the Galaxy because Groot wants to go on vacation and go to Earth. And so they are on their way, but he also wants to take the scenic route. And so they're trying to they're ship breaks down, and they start to hitchhike.
And they're doing this in space.
Yes, they're doing this in space because that's how you get to Earth.
Yep.
Great space road trip.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're hitchhiking as they're floating.
Yeah. And then they get a lift on a space chicken truck, as you do.
They get attacked by space sharks.
Yep.
Groot convinces Rocket to use pacifism instead of shooting and killing the endangered space sharks, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just tell them to go.
The chicken truck spaceship gets away quickly because they're dangerous out here.
Yeah, and leaves them behind because he's like,
So they gotta hitchhike some more.
And they
get picked up by some totally aliens, right?
No, they're humans.
Yeah, they get picked up by Skrulls that are all looking like identical
person.
Yeah. Identical humans. Yeah. And but one of them is kind of stupid.
So they're actually space shifting, or
shape shifting.
What is it? Shape shifting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so one of them starts to, after they pick up Groot and Rocket, accidentally shapeshifts into Groot and blows their cover. And then, so basically, Rocket and Groot just take a escape pod from their ship, since they're arguing amongst themselves, being like, we're going to extract information about Earth from them and stuff like that.
They quietly sneak away.
Yeah, quietly sneak away. And they go get some food. And then the restaurant that they're in gets, not hijacked, but robbed. Yeah, that's
Held
the
up.
crime. Held up
at gunpoint.
Yes.
Yep.
Is it the same Skrulls they met earlier?
No.
These are the Shi'ar.
Okay,
Oh,
I
right.
kept flipping back and forth between the pages going, they look almost similar
Also
enough.
green, but I don't think they can shapeshift.
No, they cannot.
I just thought they would look like a Scooby-Doo villain. So.
They do kind of look a little bit like that, which is kind of weird, actually. This is, okay, they're the United Separatists for Shi'ar De-Emperorification. So they might be only under the Shi'ar Empire's rule, but not actually Shi'ar, like from the home planet.
No, I think they are they want to destroy the Shi'ar Empire.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I don't think that they are the Shi'ar aliens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think they are under the thumb of the Shi'ar.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, because the Shi'ar are bird people, and I was like, that doesn't actually look like a bird person.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean they're very humanoid too, but they have like bird features, kind of.
Gotcha.
They have feathers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So then they take down the aliens that are holding up the restaurant and steal their ride, which is a small space moped.
A space bed.
Yeah. Unclear if it's really motorized.
Yeah, fair.
And so they go to this planet that is currently
under destruct.
Yeah, it's
about to be destroyed.
Yeah, about to be destroyed by their sun. It looks like things are coming down. I'll just say it's a Superman pastiche.
Yes.
It's they are about to send their son off of their child off of their dying world. But then Groot and Rocket are about to steal the spaceship, or they do steal the spaceship that the man and his wife were about to put their child in to save him and blast him off to Earth. But also that spaceship doesn't really work that well anyway.
They're taking the baby with them.
Yeah. Then they'd have to take care of a baby.
See, that would have changed the whole direction of this comic. But yeah, they get intercepted by a bounty hunter. Because apparently Groot and Rocket have bounties over their head.
Yeah.
But Groot being exceptionally so.
Yes. Yeah, much bigger bounty than Rocket does. And yeah, basically, Bounty Hunter has a whole big crew with her, too. They fight for a bit, but ultimately they're overwhelmed. There's just too many more. Rocket gets captured, and Groot is very hurt, but Rocket attaches his booster to Groot to like basically like fly him away. And he tells Groot to go get help, but then as Groot is flying away, realizes that the only thing that anybody can understand from him is the words, "I am Groot." Because Rocket can understand what Groot is saying, like outside of "I am Groot."
Yeah.
But not many other people.
Right.
So yeah, then he kind of just floats through space for a while, falls asleep. He has a dream of being on Earth, but it like all of Earth's heroes are just like him, tree aliens. And he and all of the other tree heroes work together to fight Groot Lactus.
Yep.
And this is all just a very good dream to Groot. Groot just wants to be, with others like himself.
Understood.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. But then he's awoken by being hit by a space bus. And everybody is very scared of him.
They like push him out of the airlock.
Yeah. Yeah, even as like, there's damage to the bus, and Groot tries to sacrifices a piece of his body to bridge the hole.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just keep attacking him and shoving him out the airlock. This leads to him being captured. Oh wait, no, this is a flashback. That's my bad. Yeah, so then we flash back to Groot in a prison, and he is being tortured by the guards. And then finally he has enough and breaks his restraints and starts beating up the guards. But this leads to them putting him, in a solitary confinement, except for it's not solitary. It's there with him is Rocket, and they meet for the first time.
And much like other people, Groot is communicating, saying, "I am Groot," and Rocket's like, "I don't know what you're saying."
Yeah.
I know you. I know you are Groot. I already know.
Yeah. Yeah, Groot kind of starts following him around at like the lunchroom and stuff like that, and Rocket's like, "Stop following me, we're not friends." But then later on, Groot starts getting tortured by the prison guards again, and Rocket comes to his defense, makes them stop. And so, basically from that moment on, Groot considers Rocket a friend. And he even makes Rocket a nice little plant-based bed on his side. But just then, before Rocket can even really enjoy it, the guards turn off the power so that the cameras won't catch them, and to basically beat both of them up. But Rocket and Groot beat the guards up instead. And yeah, they basically, that's when they really become official friends, and Rocket learns how to speak Groot's language, or understand Groot's language, I guess. Yeah. And then, yeah, they basically, kind of just recap that they're going to be the best of friends and go on adventures together and, join the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, that's not part of the plan. That's just it's recapping that did happen. And yeah, so then basically Groot, back in the present, uses the booster that Rocket gave him and realizes that there is a tracker that's associated with Rocket, so that, as long as he follows the path of the booster, the projection that the booster is giving, he can find Rocket. Or maybe that's a different machine, actually, because he does also have a booster, like, on his leg. I don't know.
Like it came from the booster.
Yeah, maybe it was attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So he's following the trail,
Mm-hmm.
and he runs into none other than the Silver Surfer
Yeah.
and
Dawn.
Like, they literally run into each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like head-on collision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and this is like a crossover with Dan Slott's run on Silver Surfer, where he has a companion through the spaceways named Dawn. I also don't know her last name. Greenwood.
Yep, Dawn Greenwood.
Fitting.
Fitting.
Kind of. Probably a coincidence. And yeah, so then they basically decide to help Groot out by, using the Silver Surfer's surfboard to, follow the tracker. And they see a lot of stuff, but ultimately they go and go and go, and then suddenly the tracker stops working.
Yep.
The Silver Surfer kind of, he, does what Dawn calls a
surferize.
Yeah, surferize, like philosophize, but surfer.
Mm-hmm.
They make fun of his long monologues about suffering and such.
Exactly.
I was once a man named Norrin Rad. That's when it all went downhill.
Yeah, and then Dawn does point out, though, that there is a planet that looks like something bad is happening on it, so they should go check it out.
Here, we might as well help them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they go down and help the little inhabitants, which are like, what do they look like?
I
don't know.
There's probably an animal that is more like it, but they look like pigs.
With
like anteater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, like I'm seeing
something
like
with a long snout.
Yeah, pigs with scales, kind of, but also a little anteater-y.
Mm-hmm.
I guess armadillo?
Yeah, maybe a little armadillo. Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, well, they're little animal guys, but they're farmers.
Oh, are you thinking of pangolin?
Oh,
maybe.
That might be a pangolin.
I have no idea what that is.
Let me look up a picture of a pangolin to remind myself.
I'm trying to remember which one, yeah. Because I get those confused a lot.
I need a little bit of a...
Yeah, I bet they're supposed to be like pangolins.
Wow, that's crazy. That is actually crazy.
We've taught Taylor something new today.
Yeah.
Jake, when did you discover the existence of said creatures?
A while ago, I guess.
There's literally Pokemon based off of them, aren't there?
Oh, yeah. Sand Shrew?
That's what's important to this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pokemon teaches you a lot about animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be a pangolin. I'm just looking at
yeah, so they're little pangolins. They're little farmer pangolins. They got their farmhouse and everything, but they don't have anywhere to shelter, so Groot covers them in his protective hands that he grows larger, while the Silver Surfer deals with the storm. But then when their backs are turned, the storm turns out to be something more, right? It's a water bear.
Oh yeah, it is.
Akari is the name.
Yeah, I mean that's its name, but it looks like a water bear.
Okay, what? It's a water bear?
Yeah,
I'm learning new stuff all the time.
Sorry, you're gonna know this. You know this.
Yeah,
they're
a
the little guys that
tardigrade.
can survive anything.
Yeah,
A what?
a tardigrade.
Wow, I have never.
Elon, you need to learn about tardigrades.
Yeah,
I have a great song to introduce you to.
Yeah. Tardigrades, known colloquially as water bears or moss piglets, are a phylum of eight-legged, segmented microanimals. They were first described by German zoologist.
It's a giant tardigrade.
Yeah, I have a problem with these images. They don't look
and
real.
It's evil.
They're microscopic. How evil can it be?
Well, I'm talking about the one in this comic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
The tardigrades are not out
microscopic.
to
Yeah.
get us.
Okay.
Yeah, I said
That's
micro animal.
I didn't hear that. I was
The
too busy
opposite.
saying, what the heck is a tardigrade?
You're like, why haven't I seen one floating in the water?
Yeah, if it's a water bear, why didn't it bite me?
So the water bear latches onto the Silver Surfer
Mhm.
and starts just sucking the life out of him.
Yeah, specifically the power cosmic. He was like, wow, I just thought I was gonna, like, you know, suck up some electricity from this planet, but the power cosmic, I'm gonna be, like,
Mhm.
crazy powerful.
Yep.
Then Groot, with the help of the little farmer creatures, use a plug-in.
Yeah, a wire.
It's very
Well,
it's a very
so he-
simple solution.
Yeah, basically somehow they kind of understand that this being is energy
I mean, they ground
based.
him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so through the surfer calling upon the lightning to strike him and the tardigrade, and then travel that lightning and tardigrade energy through the wire, through Groot, and then down Groot's roots into the ground.
Which is not how electrical grounds work, but that doesn't matter.
I was wondering. Yeah. Oh yeah, also Dawn is
That's not this
suffocating.
case.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
the Silver Surfer, through his abilities, is able to give Dawn the ability to breathe in space,
Mm-hmm.
but he needs to be able to focus on it. And so all this hassle with the tardigrade is keeping his focus off of her.
Yeah.
And so they have a moment. Am I reading that correctly or
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
okay?
Which Groot interrupts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, don't think anything was. Silver Surfer was just like, saved you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. His face expression did not change. But yeah, anyway. Then he gets tired.
Mm-hmm.
And the pangolin-esque creatures fix.
They have fixed his tracker, right?
Yep. And so now they're able to
And
resume
they
their
give him a
journey.
ship.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah, because, basically Dawn and Surfer are going to rest from that adventure and then part ways. Groot is going to continue on. Meanwhile, Rocket is being hung upside down by the bounty hunter. Basically, she's using him as bait for Groot, since, as stated, Groot has a much higher bounty. But yeah, Groot, as Rocket says, takes his time on these kinds of things. Often gets a little distracted. And so he is stopped at a space gas station.
He being Groot.
Groot, yeah. And there he meets a robot called the Matron. Mantron?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Mantron?
Yeah.
Okay. Mantron. Got it.
I didn't get that. I kept trying to say matron as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I manifested an I in the middle of that, so the whole time I was like, Manatron, of course.
Nice.
It's better.
Yeah. But yeah, he was built at the peak of 1996 technology. Mantron.
Was this a reference to something?
I don't think so.
Maybe the
It's
Commodore?
a big one. It's just
I don't
like
know.
making fun of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, basically he is his sole function is to pump fuel, but he has other aspirations, bigger dreams.
He's also very monologue-y.
Yes, he's very monologue-y. And then the Skrulls are back, and they are there to
Destroy Earth.
Or not destroy, to take over Earth.
Yeah.
So Mantron inserts his battle floppy, and basically shuts down and starts updating for a few minutes. And then the Skrulls find out that they are not on Earth, they are on Irfk.
Well, okay, yeah, sure.
However you want to pronounce it.
So instead of TH, it's FK.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's one Skrull that's just been like fumbling the ball like at every turn. Yeah. His name is Laz.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Like, Laz, come on. Why'd you do that?
Well, they're more mad about it than that.
Yes,
but...
well, yeah. I think... wait. I don't think that's the part. Never mind.
But, yeah, then while they're once again fighting amongst themselves, the Mantron has loaded up his battle floppy and is ready to shoot the Skrulls, but Groot decides to redirect his arm cannon and destroys their ship. And basically they all make friends. I'm sorry, they destroyed Groot's... No, okay, yeah. I see. They did destroy the Skrull ship. Now they're all together in Groot's ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was a little confused about that, but I get it now.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then they're driving. They're still trying to find Rocket, and they come upon a celestial being. Her name is
Numinous?
Numinous, yeah. And basically it is implied that she is kind of the reason that the heroes of Earth, basically the world has heroes, I guess. She wanted to paint, she says, I wanted to paint with existence. I wanted to make every life a poem. I wanted the universe to be good. I tried really hard. And so basically the Fantastic Four and their ship, getting hit with cosmic rays, Peter Parker getting bit by the spider, Matt Murdock.
Is that Matt Murdock?
Yeah, I think, actually that might be Jean Grey and Cyclops, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
I see now. Yeah. So then we have basically she says something went wrong. And there's a really angry thing. Spider-Man holding the body of Gwen Stacy. Jean being, killed on the Shi'ar world after the Dark Phoenix saga. Captain America and Tony Stark fighting in Civil War.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch just being having a headache?
It could be right after she said no more mutants. It could be when she did the Avengers Disassembled. It's kind of tough to say.
It looks like she just has a headache.
It does. She has psychic energy.
She always has a headache.
Really needs some migraine medication. And then there's Cyclops, after he had been imbued with the Phoenix Force and killed Charles Xavier.
Okay, yeah, I had no idea what that one was.
Yeah, that was after Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Groot, sees the good in all of the heroes, and especially, this feels like a big Marvel Now commercial from back then. You've got Kamala Khan and Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and you've got the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. Got
the Mighty Thor, Jane Foster,
The Thing, and what's her name? It's Alicia,
okay.
Alicia Masters. you got North
Is that
Star.
Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde?
Oh yeah, Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde, and the wedding of, I believe, North Star and Kyle. I don't remember his last name. He's just a human. He's not a mutant. He doesn't have a fancy name. I saw that look, Jake.
Nice.
I just had to say, like, yeah, he's just Kyle. He's just a guy. But they got married. And it was, the importance of that being that it was the first same-sex marriage in Marvel Comics. And so, yeah, that is the Groot basically says all of that, all of the goodness of the Marvel Universe in, big I am Groot words. And so the celestial being joins them on their quest. And
in the back seat.
Yeah.
Next to all the rest.
Yeah.
Mantron is just happy meeting new people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they get to the ship where the bounty hunter has Rocket, chained up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, all right, how do we get in? Well, the Skrulls have a plan. They're just going to change into those same, all three human, beings and sneak in. But of course, Laz, what a spaz, doesn't even keep his form and blows their cover yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Groot has to come in and just, smash the bad guys to pieces. And they were like, yeah, that should have been the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, the celestial being tries to use her power, but she gives the main bounty hunter lady hiccups on accident.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than anything threatening.
Because I think she can only do more positive things.
Well, hiccups aren't positive, I'd say, but she can.
Well, she says she's like the god of opportunities and
yeah. Yeah, basically. So, yeah. I mean, I think also it's sometimes things kind of domino effect a little bit, with her powers. So, yeah, basically she shoots a grenade gun, sticky grenades.
She being the bounty hunter.
Yeah, the bounty hunter. At Groot and blows Groot up and then orders her robot to torch the remains. But the celestial being does keep one shred of Groot safe from the fire and into the sewer system, the onboard sewer system, I suppose. Yeah. Just have never really thought about how that would work on a spaceship, like a sci-fi spaceship. I guess they must have a sewer system. And so that shred of Groot grows into a baby Groot.
Mm-hmm. Baby Groot alone.
Yeah.
The title of the next issue.
Mm-hmm. An important clarification, if you have seen the movies, in the comics, a baby Groot does not lose its memories. This is still the same Groot. It is not a child of Groot.
Mm-hmm.
He still remembers everything and is the same person.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I believe this is also this opening sequence is an homage to a famous Wolverine sequence where Wolverine has to climb through the sewers and then covertly take down some guards. But I would have to look back through and make sure that that's what they're trying to do. But I think it was called Wolverine Alone or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, then he takes down those guards. The rest of the group is taken captured by the bounty hunters. Also, Rocket did think that Groot was going to round up the Guardians of the Galaxy to save him.
Yes.
But yeah,
he brought these ragtag group of individuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Groot, through some more fighting, fights his way into where the people are being held. It turns out that Laz this whole time was a Super Skrull, which means that he has the powers of the Fantastic Four.
Oh man,
So
what a
is it normal
spaz!
for a Super Skrull to not be as good at shapeshifting, or is Laz still just bad at being a Skrull?
He's just still just bad at being a Skrull. You should
All right,
totally,
cool.
because the thing about Super Skrulls is that they are rare and like high class and well regarded. So he should absolutely know that he's a Super Skrull.
Well, and his question was, well, doesn't everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like if I were to write some reasoning into this, it would be that like basically he was born rich and he's just like really like kind of like he's so naive about everything.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's definitely me making stuff up for this, but yeah. Yeah, and then so they're fighting their way out. They're doing a good job. They're shooting stuff. But the Mantron is like, yeah, we are not going to take down the big flamethrower robot because Mantron understands what it's like to be a robot that serves others.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically instantly fall in love.
What a sweet story.
Yeah. But yeah, so then the flamethrower killer robot is on their side now. And the good thing is that as they're blasting their way into the room with the bounty hunter, at first steps on Baby Groot, but Rocket has a canister that is a
Like a
Solar-
it's like a
solar
flashbang.
grenade.
yeah, solar grenade. Yeah. With a hyper concentrated dose of solar energy and macronutrients. Yeah, and that makes Groot super big. He is as tall as the ceiling, which is a high ceiling.
Mhm.
Very high ceiling for a spaceship.
Yeah, this is a big ship, actually. They have indoor plumbing, vaulted ceilings, like it's wild. Well, like decorative waterfalls, actually.
Yeah, big ship for a, I don't think even named bounty hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, and so Groot, just like mollywops her, and it's the robot that the killer robot that was on her side that at first really takes her down, but she has basically she's like, I'm gonna blow the whole ship up then before I get captured. And so the Mantron sacrifices himself. He takes the bounty hunter out of the ship and just flies her out into space so that they blow up together. And then normal sized Groot crawls out of his body like a Voltron. except for the body also dissipates into energy.
Like a husk.
Yeah. It is like a husk, but also it dissolves into light. And also they look out at the broken window, but it's also space, so
they should be being like
I know, that part really got me. I was like, we were worried about being thrown out the airlock before.
Yeah.
But now we just smashed through the windshield of this spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Could you say the spaceship is depressurized?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but then what's Rocket breathing?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the
I don't think Skrulls can survive vacuum either.
Yeah.
Very Silver Surfer when you need him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although I guess you could say Groot is a tree. Maybe he's producing enough oxygen for everybody.
Maybe. It does still feel like the the hole should be sucking whatever oxygen is being produced, though.
Or just like everything else, too, right?
Yeah. It should also be sucking them through. Yeah, don't worry about it, though. Yeah, and then they're all sad that Manatron is gone, but the celestial being is able to produce a floppy disk that is the Mantron backup.dos. So, and he gives it to the killer robot, so that, basically they may be reunited soon. And so now with Rocket back with Groot, they part ways with the rescue team, and they're off to Earth finally. And they make it, and they go down a list of things to do recommended by the Guardians of the Galaxy. So they go to a concert, a live concert, recommended by Star-Lord, with old music. It's old people playing the music and old people fans.
Oh, yeah, I didn't look too closely at that.
Yeah. Carol recommends going to her place. Apparently she lives in the Statue of Liberty. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
One apartment there.
Yeah.
New York is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, the rent has to be crazy.
Yeah.
But she recommends getting pizza and watching Star Wars. The Gamora and Drax the Destroyer recommend fighting a villain there, and they find the clam.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, well, we'll just fight villains on Earth. And then all the villains on Earth are really puny in their opinion.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is disingenuous to the Scorpion.
No, that's not even the real Scorpion.
Oh, you're right.
Says
You're
he's
right.
not even the Scorpion.
What about Grey Gargoyle and the Wizard?
Eh.
I think those are two legitimate villains.
I don't know. Sauron's there too.
Yeah, Sauron's pretty good too, but...
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He's a pterodactyl
Also-
energy vampire werewolf.
That sounds
get the
cool.
feeling like-
You just said a whole bunch of words, put them together. That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Talon, that's a great reaction. See, I would have said you put all those words together and this is all I get. And you were like, that's the best.
Yeah.
Thumbs up from me.
Named after the main villain in Lord of the Rings, just because he was a fan of Lord of the Rings, like the
I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who he is, so I was like, you guys aren't talking about the Lord of the Rings guy, are you?
Yeah.
He's here, too.
Yeah, he's here too. Yeah, but Kitty Pryde says that they should go and party with the X-Men, and so they go and do that. And it looks like a good party. It is a good party looking. They've got a Wolverine ice sculpture. They've got little snacks that are being cooked by fire-breathing Lockheed, which kind of a dragon, but also he's an alien, so not a dragon. And yeah, lots of dancing and fun.
A Xeno dragon?
And Dazzler's there.
Yeah.
And the one who can turn to diamond who isn't Emma Frost. Or is that not what's happening up in the... Oh no, it's a bodysuit. Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Next
what?
to Dazzler.
Next to Dazzler? That's
Yeah.
Jubilee?
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought that was Dazzler.
No.
Jubilee was Dazzler.
No, that's Jubilee, and the next to Jubilee is Dazzler.
Got it.
Which
Yeah.
makes sense, because Dazzler's got to reflect all the party that Jubilee is doing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Which, okay, I've never known the X-Men to be party animals, but okay.
Yeah, they party. And then, yeah, we've got young Scott Summers and young Jean Grey, because they've been recently time traveled to the future by Beast.
Okay.
Um,
All right,
Yeah. That is also part of what is going on here. And in other Marvel lore, I guess. And then Groot goes up to Jean Grey, though, and, like, basically they have a telepathic conversation because, you know, in the mind, you can just instantly translate.
Mm-hmm. Which, nice touch.
Yeah. And basically Groot explains that, you know, on his planet, they were like a bunch of like, kind of evil warrior empire. Mm-hmm. They took over planets. We get a panel that is like basically the cover of the issue where the first time a Groot species appeared in Marvel Comics in one of the monster comics before they started doing superhero comics. A redraw of that. And basically Groot was all like, yeah, I just kind of always knew that this was like wrong, hurting people and stuff, but you know, it was like my way of life and the only thing I ever knew. But then I saw a little girl and she was like just being held in suspended animation, and I knew that that was wrong and I had to get her out. So they make friends, and he breaks her out and, you know, starts getting chased by the people of his world and sends her in an escape pod, I guess, back to Earth.
Like beam him down.
Or yeah, maybe a teleporter, I guess. Mm-hmm. A wood-based teleporter.
Yes.
And that causes Groot, our Groot, since I think everybody on his planet is called Groot.
Oh, I am Groot.
Okay. Yeah. That causes him to be outcast from the planet, exiled. And so, yeah, Groot, you know, goes off, and he finds his family with the Guardians of the Galaxy. But the child that he helped save never leaves his mind. And so now, you know, basically the child is back on Earth. She plants the flower that Groot had given her. And that flower grows into a large tree. And she ages. She gets older and older, you know, as time goes by. Gets a family. Then, you know, it looks like her husband is probably gone. Mm-hmm. She's an old woman. Which, man, Groot is old.
Yeah.
Groot is old.
Considering that's like when he first got exiled, then going to jail, meeting Rocket, and all the rest.
Yeah.
A while.
But yeah, basically they meet up and, you know, they're basically, they're able to finally meet again, and they work together to plant a new flower tree with glowing flowers. And that's the end. It's a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very neat little bow, you know, goal that was mentioned at the beginning. Roundabout way, finally come back to it.
Yeah. Because that's why Groot wanted to go to Earth in the first place, was to find her.
Yeah, that's right. He did say to Rocket that, like, basically it was to see a girl named Hannah. And Rocket was like, "Oh, you have a girlfriend?" And I was like, "No, just a friend."
Sure.
I'm not gonna take that any further.
No, she's an old friend.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, this book, it was fun. It was kind of a little bit like some of the like middle grade books that we've read, I feel like.
Middle grade as in?
As in for middle schoolers.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, I think that's the main feeling I get from it, that it's like kind of for kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, I mean, yeah, I think that if that's the intent, like, yeah, it's kind of one of those things, I guess, where it doesn't feel like automatically like that's what this is, which maybe the art style should just tell me that, you know?
Yeah.
I felt it a little bit from the art style. I was like, in the beginning, but I definitely, the story itself.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I'd say the art style, I guess my reaction was more like, oh, this is very cartoony, so it's like going to be more comedic and lighthearted.
Yes.
I didn't think about it in terms of like to a younger audience.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that you're right about that too. I think that both can be true a little bit.
Yeah, I always want to be like, just because it's cartoony, it's for kids.
Right.
But, the cartoony style combined with like the comedy and the kind of low stakes and the very soft conflict.
Yeah.
Felt very middle school.
Yeah. So yeah, if that's what it was trying to accomplish, I think it did well in that. There was parts that I thought were fun and funny. Yeah. And, when it wanted to get like more emotionally resonant, it wasn't like, it didn't stay on those things like long enough for it to be like, wow, this was like, like that's what this is about. But it was good. It was well written still in those aspects.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say like my favorite part is the last page where he's kind of, I guess, summarizing the theme of this book, you could say, where he's saying, life is not about the shadow you cast on your enemies, but the shade you provide to your friends. I was like, wow, that's a really good message. I like it.
It's a, going from pessimistic to optimistic kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can see it either way.
Yeah.
I really liked the section in the middle with the backstory of, Rocket Raccoon and him.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
That was a fun section. I think what I liked most was actually probably the part where Groot first gets separated from Rocket and he gets hit by the bus.
Oh, yeah.
That was really sad.
It was really sad. And then on top of that, too, it was like quite cool that, that we see it later on. I described it for when Groot talks to the celestial being, but we see images of what Groot is trying to say as he says, "I am Groot."
Oh, yeah.
Which is a little bit, I'll admit, difficult to see on my phone screen.
Yeah.
But I'm sure printed on a page looks a lot better. And so I'm going to take the fault on that one more than on the book itself. But yeah, he's first tries to detail that, he is like, he's been flying through space and needs help, that his friend was captured. And then I think the saddest part is the last one when he said he gets cut off. He starts saying, "I am Groot," and then gets cut off, but it's a picture of him and all of the other people on the bus just being friends. And then they throw a glass bottle at him and send him out. And yeah, so it's sad. It's like, but it's also really cool artwork in the lettering. I just really thought that was a cool way to do that.
They end that sequence with Groot looking very despondent, and the last thing is like, "What's it saying?"
Yeah,
it's like, you didn't even give him a chance.
Yeah.
I will say, art-wise, my favorite scene, or I guess sequence, is on the planet with the animals I just learned about.
Oh, the pangolins.
Yes.
And the tardigrades.
Yes.
Or tardigrade singular.
I think that is more attributed to the colors. I think the colors were really good.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, storm scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun also to see Silver Surfer, I've read at least the first volume of that series, maybe more. I can't quite remember how much, but I really enjoyed that series. So it was nice to kind of like be like, oh yeah, these characters are fun, written by a different person. It's a little bit more in line with what this is, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Also, I don't know, they kind of make fun of Silver Surfer, of course, with his monologues.
Mhm.
But then they do have a section where they're like, okay, I think he needs one of your monologues.
Yeah.
Groot needs a little pick-me-up.
Right, yeah. And I think that in some ways that I didn't initially think, like, when I was reading this, I wasn't thinking of it through the lens of, like, how is this being written and created
Mm-hmm.
to give a particular perspective specifically to a middle grader. And now I'm realizing that this is, like, very much, like, trying to explain how Marvel Comics work to somebody that, is at that age level and doesn't know,
What do you mean by how they work? Like their characters, their universe?
Yeah, well, those things and more, kind of, because it's also, like, you were talking about the Silver Surfer monologues, and, it's kind of one, like, I would expect if a child was like, oh, what's Silver Surfer? I guess I'll, like, look into it. And then it started a monologue. It'd be like, wow, I'm bored. This sucks, But being like, oh, yeah, this is what this character kind of does, what he's a little bit known for. And
it's
also,
a little silly, but yeah.
But also, like, there's emotional resonance in it, and showing that emotional resonance,
Yeah.
And also explaining, what the character's deal is, why you should even care about that character.
I see.
And then same for, showing up with the X-Men, and, like, the celestial being, even though I'm sure that celestial being probably will never show up in another Marvel comic. It's like, this is kind of how there's sometimes celestial beings and they have personalities and stuff, and they kind of cause things to happen in the Marvel universe.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think that's probably what I would call a downside to it, is it does very clearly feel like they were trying to show us all the characters on all this instead of tell a story sometimes.
Yeah. I think I would say
that the main goal of meeting Hannah again is buried for most of it.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Yeah, I think that I would say that I can't, like, just blanket say that it's something that I disliked. I think that there was certain parts that were a little bit, like, less obvious, a little less ham-fisted in there. That, it was like, okay, that was good. And then there was other ones where it was like, this is just a Marvel Comics commercial where you are selling me to go buy another series.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't throughout it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of,
or not. It wasn't all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were saying.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it through the lens of, how a middle grader will, like, receive this.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, I reading this and I'm like, part of me is, I'm thinking more of it as, how does it relate to a middle grader?
Mm-hmm.
And so, Silver Surfer talking about not being able to express himself
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't really know how much a middle grader will get that, but I can imagine there is kind of like an overall sentiment that would be communicated.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that that's true for a lot of children's literature, where it's like, you're not trying to expect that, a kid will pick up every piece, just that they will pick up some of the pieces, and then...
Yeah, and they might reread it and get a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or there's something underlying that they don't realize that they've picked up.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's a pretty universal theme, right? That not being able to be understood.
Yes. Yeah.
The words don't come out right. Kind of, feeling alone, like a Groot on his planet.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling very alone.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And yeah, even like the, I guess, along with that, going somewhere that has a commons lunchroom and not having any friends, and then
being picked on.
Yeah.
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 Man, school's just like jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, yeah, just the kind of lesson that like, yeah, making friends is better than being kind of more like Rocket, a little bit more antagonistic and untrusting of others.
Mm-hmm. That, like, you see how Groot has affected all these different people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because, and in large part due to his open personality of like, yeah, like I want to be everybody's friend.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a good message.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say though, like, I mean, Shuenta, you kind of touched on this already, but it felt like the first 5 issues was basically Rocket getting captured and then the rescue attempt of Rocket. And so that kind of felt like an arc in it of itself. So then it was like, okay, well now we're getting back to going to Earth, but then that was all just squished into one issue. And that's not to say that I'm like, well, now this should have been like, 10 issues instead of 6. I'm not saying that, but it was kind of like a little bit uneven, I guess, story-wise.
Yeah. Like a prologue or something.
Kind of, yeah. It was just like, I don't know. Considering that it felt like the statement was like, this is what we're going to do in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went on a huge detour.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Groot likes to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That would be a tricky balance to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that they did pretty well with it, but there was something that I was still like, oh, okay. Like, I just felt like at the end of issue 5, I was like, I thought this was 6 issues, but I guess we're just done because we rescued Rocket.
Yeah.
like, this is the end of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Mantron died for our sins. And he will be reborn.
Whenever they find a floppy disk reader in space.
Yeah.
After finding true love.
Hey, Star-Lord is around. I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, overall, I think it was enjoyable, but like, yeah, it kind of was, just a little bit like, like it didn't have a lot of weight to it, which like, as we described for the audience, that's kind of expected a little bit, but yeah. Yeah.
Off the first like impression, just looking at the art, I knew, I was like, okay, I'm not going to like it. We've addressed that. Let's move on. But I totally get using that kind of art style for your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the story too was also like, it didn't have a lot of weight in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked how all of the beings were drawn in this. The only ones that I didn't really like was the way that Dawn was drawn.
Oh.
I thought that she looked weird, and I was like, I guess maybe humans are not the strong suit here.
There was something that she was the one who also bothered me every time she showed up in a panel. I was like,
yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Well, she's just got a red nose. She's like Rudolph. Like,
yeah, it's something. I don't know. Maybe it's because she's like too distinct of an original character. Like I guess like, we see other human characters technically, like the other human Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. But
we kind of see them in very passing, and then there's the humans. that the scroll are disguised as, but they're supposed to be creepy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to feel more genuine.
Definitely.
It's not happening for me.
Yeah.
That's fair. I did
Get her out of here.
so she refers to the surfboard as Toomey.
Yes. Yeah.
What is that about?
In that series, she because Silver Surfer always says, "To me, my board."
Oh,
no.
no.
She decides that its name is To Me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So I was thinking this. Is Dawn a original character that was like new, or
Yeah,
was she existed?
she was new for the Silver Surfer reboot under Dan Slott.
Because I thought that there was this kind of a character for the old, surfer TV show animated.
I haven't watched that, but yeah, no, she was not in that. I can almost guarantee.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I got for this book. I guess we could talk about a little bit the plant stuff in it. Too.
I mean, my only thing to say about the plant stuff is the plant stuff doesn't matter too much in this.
No.
It's just a power that, I mean, he gives Hannah, the little girl,
the magic
and it
flower
grows. So friendship is like a plant.
Yeah, if you take care of people, it grows.
I didn't even think about that. That's good.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the part where Dawn is unable to breathe, and so Groot kind of creates like grass in his hands. And, holds it under her nose and face.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
How are they growing their plants though as farmers? Base plants.
The pangolins?
Yeah.
Oh, because they don't have oxygen on the planet? I don't know. That's different plant biology.
Cody, that was so... You were like, I don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah, maybe the pangolins create oxygen and breathe in carbon dioxide, and the plants produce carbon dioxide and...
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around, yeah. The opposite of our relationship to plants. You know what I'm saying.
It's space. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe she got real close to a penguin's breath, then be able to breathe in their breath.
Yeah.
That's less important to me than the hole in the ship.
Yeah. There's Groot gets destroyed. He gives up parts of himself. For people he wants to save. He comes back from little tiny thing. With the help of his friend, becomes big and fights back.
Yeah.
But he can't stay that way.
Yeah.
Because he almost goes berserk.
Good point. Yeah. I did kind of feel like the being able to instantly get big and then back to normal size felt a little bit like I guess, you described it as having like low stakes, and it's just like, oh, that wasn't a problem at all.
I just need him to go berserker mode somehow.
Yeah.
The moment Rocket was like, don't touch that solar grenade in like the previous scene, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to use that. It's going to be very important.
I did not think that.
Yeah, I was probably reading it a little tired, but I totally didn't pick up on that. Even when Rocket said, "You remember that solar grenade I said not to touch," I was like, "No, I didn't. Oh, I don't. I'm not even gonna flip back and look for the scene. I'll just trust you that happened."
Foreshadowing denied.
I will say I would have preferred that solar grenade to just make him like regular size rather than gigantic.
I think it's a little better than being like, he got angry so he's able to super power up. Like, they try to give a reason. Yeah,
it's true. It is cool to see him super powerful more than just like his normal power level. So I understand having a MacGuffin to cause that. I don't know. I'm kind of nitpicking at this point, you know.
I will say, like, at the beginning too, like my suspension of disbelief failed at the space sharks.
What?
I was like, no.
Star Trek has space whales.
Yeah. And
oh, really? I don't know.
This raccoon and this tree better not fight any space sharks.
I know, right? I was like, I'm okay with everything, but space
you
sharks?
were like, this man going by with chickens, if I remember right.
Yeah. 3-eyed chickens.
Yeah. I was fine with all that. And
it should have been space bears, you're right.
Yeah. No. Yeah, there's actually a lot of sci-fi franchises with space sea creatures. You got
space is like the water.
Yes. You go on a ship.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
They swim through everything.
Yeah.
Space birds would be weird.
Space birds?
Yeah. It should be only space fish.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
I do think if you gave this to a kid, they'd really like it.
Yeah.
It's a good introduction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if they're fans of the movies, because this is very much written in the voice of the writing for that movie. You know, I'm like, you know, there are certain differences with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they've mostly been kind of flanderized into their movie counterparts at this point. But before, if you read older Marvel comics, those characters don't really act the way that they do in the movies all the time.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this Rocket and Groot is just like, I just hear Bradley Cooper's voice and Vin Diesel's voice.
When will we have Bradley Cooper in a rocket onesie? And that's just him for the movie.
That's what you
True
want.
live action.
Yeah. That's going to be another $100 million to the budget, though.
Yeah.
They only have to pay Sean Gunn, like, I don't know, probably nothing other than what he's normally paid to play Kraglin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To be the stand-in for the animation. Anyway, though, yeah. It was a good book. It was fun. I probably won't remember it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything, Jake?
No, not much. There wasn't really a whole lot I remembered about this book. Like, even going back through it, I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen.
Yeah.
It's like, it's inoffensive. I'm sure kids would love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very kids movie-esque.
Yeah.
Jake, why'd you pick the book?
Because it had Groot
Desperate.
in it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pick anybody else's character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say that you like Groot as a character, and did this book help your appreciation of the character any?
Groot is fine as a character. I guess it didn't harm it, so I guess it helped my enjoyment of this character.
That's a very middle ground answer.
Groot is like Baby Yoda. Like, people enjoy the joke too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that this book for me helped increase my appreciation of Groot as a character, because I never really realized how committed to, like, non-violence he is. Like, I mean, obviously he's a superhero kind of character. He is going to do violence when necessary. But, ultimately, to take what the message of this book, it's more about trying to do everything he can to make friends, come to an understanding, something like that.
Make something good in the world versus defeating something bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think a movie would have a little bit of trouble exploring Groot personally in, like, some of the insecurities he has. Or, kind of lonesome trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think a movie could have done quite the same thing as the comic did.
It's true.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm imagining an animated feature, that adapts this, but at the same time, like, you don't get those, like, the pictures inside the words that I was talking about earlier, like, you can't really easily adapt that. Like, I mean, you could.
Got time for contemplation.
Yeah.
I think it's time to get Shawinta hired on the job for animating that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Join us next time for our episode going over our botany comics and our kind of post-mortem on all of them. But until then, this has been the Comic Panel. I'm Cody.
I'm Talon.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawinta.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.